I understand it now. I get it. Y'all can't stand the mirror that's been put in front of your face. How do y'all think the black community has felt for the last 5 years since George Floyd has died? All the memes y'all shared about that.
I saw a clip somewhere that you were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck. We all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, "I couldn't breathe," well before that restraining technique? And
so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to restrain him. And they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagre here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. Guys, this is crazy. This is absolutely ridiculous. So ever since this incident of Charlie happened, a lot of people are being exposed because they've never seen themselves on a global scale in that kind of violence that actually happened to Charlie. In 2020, it was George Floyd, and we all know what happened. They were televising him, like putting him on global scale networks. Everybody saw what happened to that black man. And the difference with that incident is that it was police brutality, and it was a white cop committing that violence on a black person. Then people were, making fun of, the deceased Floyd, and saying that he was the problem, he was the cause of the death to himself. It wasn't the fault of the white cop, like it wasn't the police fault. This person was a criminal. They were putting all justifications, all excuses, just because they did not want to see like justice be put upon for this deceased person that had passed on. And that's what really sparked a lot of like the anger that black people had been keeping in themselves, because it was too much. Even me, like I was like, this is not okay. Like every black person that saw that, we were traumatized. Like it was really trauma. But the fact that a lot of them are not so used to seeing themselves in that kind of situation. They are used to just seeing people that look like me in that pain, and they kind of sometimes almost even see it as normal. Like, yeah, if a black person, if a person of color, loses their life, it's like, yeah, they must have been the problem. They must have been the issue. That's how lightly they take it. But the fact that it's one of them and someone that is actually seen as, big in terms of their, thinking, like someone with influence, to be taken down and news to be like taken that crazy on a global scale. Now they want to justify the act. They want to, still blame the black community or black people, that they are somehow the problem. They still do not want to take in accountability that it was one of them that actually committed this. It's more fascinating to me that there are people that have been, talking about justice of, minority groups, and they are pumped. But ever since that situation happened, they went back to their people. They are back to being, on the right, because they are saying if you laughed, if you didn't have any kind of sympathy or empathy to this, act, you have a problem, and the left are a problem, which I find ridiculous to me, that it was a palmed man that actually created and, committed a crime on another palmed man, but you're still finding ways on putting the blame on other groups of people. I mean, I shared actually a video of the governor of Utah openly addressing and saying, his mind, that he was praying in Utah where there's no black or brown people, praying it was not one of them. That statement alone really shows you who wants America to be divided and who wants America to be in unity. Some palm people are waking up to reality, and they're like, we need to speak up, because if we do not speak up, this is not the country that we want. We want a united, America for everybody to be free. And we have to speak up, which I really appreciate, like the way they are coming in strong as well, over this whole situation, calling out their own. I love the energy. That's how it should be, taking accountability, learning, and exposing the truth that needs to be, talked about. But yeah, guys, listen to this gentleman and what he had to say, because I loved listening to him. Come back, let me know your thoughts on it.
I understand it now. I get it. Y'all can't stand the mirror that's been put in front of your face. All of the shit that y'all have been serving for the last few decades now against minority communities. Y'all can't stand having to look at it when it affects you. See, that's the thing. I finally get it. It took me a lot of time, because I'm thinking, why are people reacting so violently to this? And it reminds me of the very first event that I had when I was escaping the alt-right pipeline and changing my mindset of that was that anger and violence. Because see, here's the thing. And here's the thing you really don't understand because you refuse to put yourself in other people's shoes and actually be empathetic to other people's situations. How do y'all think the black community has felt for the last 5 years since George Floyd has died? All the memes y'all shared about that. How do you think they felt about the memes about Breonna Taylor, you know, the woman who was gunned down in her sleep to no-knock raid? How do you think the Latino community has felt for the last 8 months with y'all cheering Trump for his deportation efforts and buying merch for Alligator Alcatraz and egging it on that human suffering is a great thing for this country? How do you think the gay community felt with all the jokes y'all made about the Pulse nightclub shooting a few years back in Orlando that killed 50 plus people in like a predominantly gay club? You are truly experiencing for the first time how it tastes. The hatred y'all have been spilling out of your guts for years finally comes back at you. And that's the thing you don't like. But you know what? The funny thing about all of it is, where's the black community calling for war with how you have treated them? Where's the Latino community going up in arms and calling for war? And no, fighting off ICE and protesting, that is not war. That is civil disobedience, and that is our First Amendment right. But calling for the bloodshed of innocent civilians because they make jokes about a dead man who spent his entire political career actively making these communities worse with his rhetoric and their situations worse? Where's their calls for war? See, you're just now kind of coming out of the illusion that your hatred and bigotry that you claim is free speech is free of consequences from the actions of what you just said. Because you only ever say it online. Because when you do say it to someone's face, you almost always outnumber them 5-1. You almost always catch people in situations where they're at a disadvantage, so when you say these things, you're protected. But now with Charlie, in his situation, you're having to come to reality for the first time of the vile and awful things that you believe in, and you don't like it.
As you've seen in the video, that is what he had to say, and it's really amazing, as I say all the time when I come across these videos of PAM people, you know, learning the truth and getting away or out of their bubble that have been, you know, they have been fed for all this while, that they are the good, you know, savior, the good people, the ones that, you know, don't commit any issues. And I love that he, you know, talked about why people, like I said, not being able to see themselves in these kind of tragic situations. But now that they are seeing that it's possible actually to happen to them, they are scared, but they are more of like in a state of confusion. Like, how is this possible in America? Like, how is this okay? I find like a ridiculous kind of reaction, because I mean, you guys, don't you know your history? Don't you know your statistics? You guys commit more crime in America than anybody else. How, like, why are they acting like it's a shocker to them, like it's one of them that has been or has faced this kind of like, you know, action onto them? I don't even want to call it murder, but I mean, yeah, but because of YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, how this is not okay. Like, this is not right. We should unite. We should be together. But when it comes to black people, other groups of people, when this happens to them, crickets. Or the blame still goes on to the victims, like they are a problem. I find that crazy. But also, some of the people that have been, you know, talking about minority issues who were pammed immediately after this incident were in tears. They were crying. I mean, I saw a lot of them crying that I actually also follow, and I was like, really? Really, you're gonna cry on this platform when you've been saying like injustice? And the same person that was talking about George Floyd did not die over a cope or the knee of the cope, like it was the drugs or whatever. You're really gonna cry over that person? So it really shows that even the allies of people that pretend, because this is like pretend, they were pretending to be on the side of black people, people of color, minority group, but they are exposed. I know most of you are seeing them. They are getting exposed, crying over Charlie, which is like ironic to me. Like, what do you mean you're crying over this person that was saying all those diabolical statements on other groups of people that never looked like him? Are you insane? Are you okay? What do you mean you're an ally to people of color, to black people? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But you know what, guys? Karma is really interesting, because, I mean, Charlie said Floyd did not die over a knee, and he was justifying the actions of the cop, that it was okay. They were doing what they were trained to do or use to detain this person. But yeah, guess what? What came back around and took Charlie back to his, creator or whoever he believed in. Yeah, where did it land? It was a gun that he supported, violence that he supported, and it was a palmed man like him that actually did that deed to, help Charlie answer the call to his creator, because the creator called and he answered. And where did it land? On the same neck. He was just justifying that it's okay to what the other black man passed through to lose his life. I guess a win is a win. I guess a win is a win. But yeah, guys, that is it for me today's video. Thanks for watching. I had to share this. I loved how this man called out his people. I hope they are waking up, and I think majority of them are waking up to reality that it's time to speak up. It is time to speak up, or they are going to watch their America crumble, and no one is ever going to ever come to their aid, because we have had enough. We've had enough. They need to start taking in accountability. If they do not, white on white crime is going to take them out of existence, because it's the worst. It's the worst right now. They need to acknowledge it and really fight it. Guys, that is it for me today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. I will see you in another video. Bye.